welcome to the Eurogamer Show, and this week, Johnny, what are you doing?
Sensing things with my Witcher senses.
You don't have Witcher senses, you've just been playing The Witcher 3.
Sarcasm residue. It's fresh. Must be dealing with a snark wraith. Definitely.
Coming up this week,
Batman! Aoife has a sneak peek at Arkham Knight.
And cat lateral damage. Have they made a cat more annoying than the ones Johnny lives with?
No, I can tell you right now that is not the case.
Well, in the meantime, let's check in with Chris and his weird second monitor to find out what's been going on in the past week.
I don't know what that is.
Aoife, you enjoy running around big atmospheric cities, beating up criminals and driving recklessly fast, right?
Yeah, I also like video games.
No, I was talking about...
I got to preview some brand new stuff from Arkham Knight recently, which was very exciting. Stay right there and I'll tell you all about it.
Aoife?
You give away my secret identity and I'll break your legs.
So what was the demo like? What did you play exactly?
So the demo was, it put us in the open world, and there were kind of a choice of different side missions and that sort of thing to go for. Okay. So there was ones people have seen it before, and I've played it before actually, where the Riddler can challenge Batman in the Batmobile now, that he can make it through these kind of obstacle courses with the car. So that was, I know, right? Yeah. So that was the world's greatest detective, and he's challenged to drive off, but whatever. So that was one of the things. But the one that I, because I was so short on time, the one that I specifically focused on was the new thing essentially, which is the dual play mechanic. Which is where we all kind of thought, when the trailer was first sort of announcing it, that it was oh my god, it's co-op, but it's still single player, but it's these cool sequences where Batman can call in Nightwing and Robin mates. And Catwoman. Yeah, essentially, he can call in his mates to help him.
And how does that work? So is that mid-combat you'll just... is that just a button prompt, or...?
Yes, essentially. I mean, I imagine it'll only work in certain circumstances. So for this mission, I was kind of trying to gain access to a vault owned by Penguin. But once you're there, then all these goons come out, and there's quite a few to deal with. So once you kind of get into a flow of combat, then a button prompt will come up. I think it was L1, and then Nightwing appears to help Batman. And so it kind of reminded me of Tech and Tag, right, where you push a couple of buttons and they'll pull off a really flashy move that you don't really have any control over. It's choreographed or whatever. But the thing is with those moves, I mean, you can do them a couple of, because this is quite a lengthy fight with a lot of people. I could do it a couple of times, but when Batman calls in this instance Nightwing, and they do a cool combo, then it would end with me controlling Nightwing, and then it would, if I did it again, it would swap over to Batman. So it was cool. I mean, it really changed things up, because obviously, the Arkham series, we've had, quite a few iterations now, and no matter how great that combat system is, and now we're seeing it, repeated in so many other games, right?
Yeah, sure. It's not just within the Arkham games.
No, right? I see it everywhere now. So it's hard to, I mean, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? But at the same time, they want to introduce something new that's cool. And I always felt it was always really nice to see Nightwing and Robin and Catwoman and everyone else in the previous games, but I always kind of wanted to see more of them, so I guess, and also to see more of them fighting, but not in just relegated to challenge rooms.
Okay, well that sounds new, and obviously, you mentioned the Batmobile a couple of times. That is, when most people think of Arkham Knight, that is the new shiny toy.
The one thing that people always asked for in previous Arkham games was the Batmobile. And, honestly, I never felt like it was missing. My favourite part of the Batman games was when it was on a smaller scale. Like I quite liked, you know, even Asylum, you know, sneaking around, and that to me has always been more of Batman's style. It is cool. I mean, it certainly opens up the world a lot more, and it makes sense in terms of Gotham being much bigger and having the open world. I just wonder, for me personally, a little bit, it bothers me in the sense that a lot of players will use it to try and do very un-Batman-like things, right?
Right, that's what I was going to ask, actually. Like, big explosions and a Batmobile that can fire rockets.
Yeah.
Are you sure you're not killing loads of people throughout this game?
That was one of the very first questions I asked when they first unveiled it. I was like, how are you going to make it? Because, I mean, the Batmobiles had guns and sort of non-lethal weapons in the wrong hands attached to it before, but you can't sort of ignore player agency, right? They're kind of going to do what they want, but the Batmobile itself, enemies will always jump out of the way of it.
That's gonna look really weird.
I know, and like apparently, like I don't know, it's just like, you know, it gives them a little bit of an electric shock if you bump them with it, or which is fair.
It just tells them off.
Yeah,
right.
it's non-lethal, you know, is the bottom line, but I don't know. It looks cool. I've only really seen the Batmobile in very isolated instances, and obviously they will try and control it in the sense that you won't be able to take the Batmobile everywhere. There will be lots of places where you'll have to leave it behind.
Cool. Well, so the release date is the 23rd of next month,
I know,
right?
Yeah.
And any idea like why it's been delayed so much? It was originally October of last year.
Well, Rocksteady, from what I know of them, I mean, they're massive perfectionists, and like it seems like if this is going to be their last Batman game, I guess they just want to make it as good as it can possibly be, and people will wait for it, you know, because they'll be happy to wait for it. It's Batman, and like the amount of detail going into, like when I was playing it, I just had to stop for a minute and look at like the rain falling on his cape and like all those little details. Like if that's what it takes, you know, to make all that look as good as it can possibly be, I'm all right with them making us wait.
All right, cool. Well, thank you, Aoife.
All right, bye.
You're coming with me.
You only had to ask.
Well, that's almost it from us. Johnny, what's left?
Cats. I live with 2 of them and they're really irritating. Happily though, some clever people have made a video game so I can try and work out why they're so keen on knocking stuff over.
Sounds perfect.
This is Luna. She enjoys whining for attention, belly rubs and dried seaweed. This is Scout. She likes attacking Luna and occasionally farting. They both love knocking things over at 4 in the morning just to let you know they're there. So this is cat lateral damage. I'm hoping it will give me some insight into what my cats see in knocking stuff off other surfaces. I want to play Time to Make a Mess. That sounds incredibly familiar. So what my cats really like doing is they like kind of teasing something to the edge, knocking it off, and then just sort of staring down at it as if they have absolutely no idea how it got there. Good, excellent. Plant pots. Something I actually don't have in my house because the cats will destroy them. Yeah, eat it, books. I am a cat. I cannot read. Ooh, crockery. I feel like this is fun, but it's a bit too frenetic. Like, there's not the same level of artistry that my cats kind of achieve. You can just bat things off straight away, whereas when you're a cat, it's all about the gentle nudging. So you don't just like smack things off. It's all about gently, ever so gently, taking them to the side. And then getting... Oh my god, I'm in the oven. Oh, please. Can I... Yes! Oh, it's all painfully familiar. Ooh. Yeah, I can kind of see why my cats are such dicks now, I think. It's kind of satisfying knocking things over. I can't say I love them for it, but... at least go some way to understanding now.
So do you have a newfound appreciation for your cats then?
You know, I actually do. They feed off the misery of others, and that's something I can really get behind.
Sounds familiar. Anyway, that's it for this week, so don't forget to like and subscribe, and we will see you next time.
What do you mean it sounds familiar?
I'm Chris from Eurogamer, and this is Agario, which is a free-to-play browser-based game, and just please stick with me because it's really, really quite brilliant. It's a bank holiday over here at the moment, which means I should be playing The Witcher free, but I've chosen to play this for a little bit instead.